So I'm going to show you how to shine boots today. This is a pretty simple method. Boot shining is a very objective thing in the sense that there is no right or wrong way. However, this is the best way that I've found for myself, and it's given me the best results. You'll need a few simple things. You'll need a microfiber cloth. I just use this to clean the boot off prior to shining it. Woman's pantyhose. This is used in the buffing process. I'll explain how. Old t-shirt. It's just a cotton t-shirt. You could also use cotton balls. I use a t-shirt just because it's easy. You'll need water. This is water that I've put into the lid of the shoe shine tin. You'll need a shine applicator. This is just a sponge applicator made by Kiwi. You can pick it up in the shoe department of any store. And then a tin of polish. The brand that I use is Lincoln. This is what a tin typically looks like. It is called Lincoln Stain Wax Black Shoe Polish. This is the best polish that I've used. I've also tried Kiwi and Kiwi Parade Gloss. Kiwi and Kiwi Parade Gloss have their pros and cons. We'll talk about Parade Gloss. Parade Gloss does give your boot a very nice shine with this method. However, it flakes off. There's a lot of silicone in this, and it flakes off when toes bend. Lincoln, you don't have that problem as much. The next thing you'll be needing is edge dressing. Edge dressing makes the side and edge, as the name implies, of your boot look shiny, so it looks really nice during inspection. Edge dressing does have its cons as well, though. It will start to crack, so you're going to have to put that on quite a bit. However, it is pretty cheap. You can pick up this bottle. It's Angelus Roll Call military grade. It's like $8 on Amazon. And then you will need a heat gun. This heat gun is from Harbor Freight. You can use a coupon for it, and it'll cost you like $8. It's just a 1500 watt heat gun. So, like I said, I like to use this cloth. We'll get started here. I just like to dust off the boot. Don't know if you can really see it here on camera, but there's like some cat hair and dust and stuff. So I just spray a little water on it. And I'll take my towel and I'll just kind of clean the whole boot off. And I just do this. The initial time that you polish your boots, if they're new or this is your first time really sinking a lot of time into polishing them, you probably won't have to do this. I'm just doing this because they're a little dirty. I last shined these boots on Thursday night, so it's Saturday afternoon now, so it's been almost a couple of days, so they're a little dirty. I polish my boots every night. The part where I polish is the toe. I polish the toe right here, and let me just dry that off. And then I'll do the most layers here. I polish the whole boot. When I polish this other portion of it, I'm only putting one layer on, and the reason why is you want your toe to look shinier. It just makes it stand out, and it's an easy way of doing that. So what you do is you take your polish, and this is an old can, as you can see, so it's a little bit different. So you just kind of go around in circles with the applicator, and for me, I'm trying to scrape it off the edges as neatly as possible. You don't want that big chunk like that. So you take it, it gets covered. This is a dirty process, so wear gloves if you have them. And you're going to take the applicator, excuse me, and let's get that chunk off there. And again, you're only going to put it on the toe of the boot. You want to avoid putting it on these cracks. What happens with the cracks, inevitably you will cover them when you polish the rest of the boot. but what happens when you step is the polish flakes off. And again, that is the problem with parade gloss, is it flakes off quite easily. So you can see the problems with that. So you'll take your polish and you'll just start applying some light pressure with the applicator, the foam applicator, and you're going to cover up all the shine. Now, if this was my first time shining these boots, I would put this on like so, and then I would use a horsehair brush. I would use the horsehair brush. I would take it, I don't have one to show you guys, but it's like a big brush with a wooden handle, and you just go back and forth until there's a nice dull shine. And I would do that maybe 6 or 7 times. What you're doing with that horsehair brush, you can pick it up at any Walmart, Target in their shoe department. It'll be with the shoe polish. What you're doing is you're beating the leather, or you're beating the polish into the pores of the leather, and you're building a good base layer. That's going to be pretty important when it's your first time polishing the boots. So that looks good to me. So say you've already gotten all of your polish in, all 7 layers or 5 layers, however many layers you decide on. In with the horsehair, you're going to cover it up just like this with the polish, and you'll notice it looks kind of foggy per se. And let's see here, let's just kind of smooth that edge out. There we go. Alright, so you want it to look nice and neat, orderly. You're supposed to put it on in small circles. So you just want to go until you don't, typically until you don't feel any more polish coming off. And this is really just a thing of time and repetition and elbow grease. So it is very much a thing of what you put into it is what you get out of it. So for this next step, we're going to need the heat gun, and we're going to need our t-shirt. So we'll take our heat gun. I put it on high. I don't know if that's right or not, but again, this is what I do. Put it on high. I feel it get hot with my hand, and once it gets hot, you put it onto the area where you applied the shine. And you'll see that it begins to shine very brightly. It looks similar to glass. And that should be good right there. You want to make kind of small circles with the heat gun, just to kind of even it out. And I'll turn it off and I'll take the heat away, and I'll let it dry up. As it dries up, you'll notice it begins to fog over. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your t-shirt and you're going to wrap your index and middle fingers in it. And I like to kind of wrap it around like that just so it's easier to hold on to. And you're going to dip your the t-shirt into some water. I pour the water into the lid of the polish tin just because it's easier. You have your water. Now you're going to make small circles on the toe portion of the boot, which is where you applied your polish. Obviously, if I was shining the other portion of the boot, I would buff that out as well. All you're doing right now is you're using the water and the t-shirt to basically remove that fog that was put over the shine when it dried, and you're just trying to get that back out. So you're making small circles. I don't know if speed really plays a factor into it, but I like to make the small circles pretty quickly. And pressure does seem to play a factor in it as well. You don't want to push too hard, but you don't want to push too softly either. You kind of get a feel for it. The toe of this boot feels hardened, so it's honestly kind of hard to gauge how much pressure I'm putting on right now, but it's pretty simple. All you're doing is you're just going to continue to make these small circles, and it takes a while. This is a thing of of time and patience. But the end result is that your boots look good. Now, again, these boots have been polished several times, so you won't have the same result. If this is my first time polishing this boot, I might repeat this process of putting it on, heating it up, and buffing it off. I might repeat it. For my first time, I believe I did it 10 times per boot. And I was probably out here for 2 hours. But it's kind of like a reap what you sow situation. After that initial polish, you only have to put a couple layers on a night. If that, maybe just a layer will work. Just, to kind of refresh them. It honestly depends on how thrashed your boots get. But typically you want to add about a layer a night just to make them look nice. But that's the plus side of putting all the layers on that initial time, is it saves you time your next time when you go to polish. And you can see the water's starting to dry now. That's basically from the buffing, as well as the fact that the boot is warm because of the heat gun. It won't feel hot, it just feels warm. But that you want that. And you can see it's starting to go away now, the water. It's starting to dry out, and there's a pretty good shine going. It feels different once you get the shine going as well. With the water, you can feel your fingers and the shirt kind of glide over the boot. But as it starts to dry, it feels very, very smooth, and it doesn't feel like there's much friction or anything as you go over it. And this is almost done here, so we'll keep it going. I completely forgot about this section right here, so we'll spend a little time right there just to bring out that polish. That's looking pretty good. Water's starting to dry. It's looking really good. Alright. That's looking good. Alright. So, I like to take a dry spot of the shirt just to get any excess water off, because I don't want any water to spot on there. So I just like to drag the shirt back over it, just kind of quick, just to make sure there's no water and I'll get any dust that may fall. I have cats out here, so their hair and whatnot sticks out here. So you'll see that it picks up color now, reflects color back. This is what you want in your boots. You want it to reflect the color. And you'll take your woman's pantyhose now. You hold it like so. And all you do is you move it back and forth over the toe. And you'll notice there's like imperfections up here. I'll fix that with another layer of polish. But again, I only polish this portion past the cracks once a week. So the toe is now done. I do this a lot, where I'll stick my hand in like so, and I'll just kind of rub the whole boot down. What this does is it creates friction, I believe, Honestly, I don't know the science behind how this portion of it works. I picked this up from a YouTube comment, and it's just something I've done ever since I've read it. And you'll see there's a pretty good shine going. Let me see here. So, as I pick it up here, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it is reflecting the color of my shirt. This isn't the best lighting I have, so give me a moment. You'll see as I come into the light over here, I can hold it up, see myself, see my face looking back at me. So that looks pretty good to me. So we will go ahead and call that good. So then what I'll do is I will take the edge dressing. And with the edge dressing, as the name implies, it's pretty simple. You shake it up, there's a little brush inside, and you're just going to rub the edges. And as you can see, there's a little areas of imperfection here and there. So we'll go ahead and put that on. Now you want to be careful with this stuff. It spills, and it's pretty permanent. You want to use it in a well-ventilated area as well. It smells pretty strong. So I like to just rub it on, and you'll see what I mean as it kind of drips off. You want to apply it evenly. Basically, this just kind of, it's like icing on the cake. Cake is good on its own, but when you add this to it, it makes it look even better. So you're just going to go around the whole edge. And you'll see it starts to make the boot look very shiny. Now, like I said, this does crack. It'll crack about, I would say, in 2 days. So you'll have to apply more. You'll have to kind of be on top of it to apply more. Want to make it look good all over. That should be good right there. And there you go, your boot is done. Put the lid back on, make sure it's tight. Like I said, this stuff spills everywhere. This boot was I already finished it earlier. So, yeah, there you go. That's how you shine boots.